Hello viewers, you're watching Nahoo News Weekly. Presenting this week's news to you, it's me, Gifty Makondan. Please stay tuned. As we move on to our first news, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has announced that the government is going to repatriate Ethiopian citizens imprisoned in Zambian prisons at the end of this week. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs Demeke Mekonnen held a discussion with members of Ethiopian community in Zambia on the sidelines of the meeting of the African Cooperative Council. As a result, the issue of Ethiopians who had illegally entered Zambia and were arrested by the country's police and imprisoned has been widely raised. At the time, it was determined that an unknown number of Ethiopians were imprisoned in the country. The Ethiopians were arrested in Zambia while on their way to cross into South Africa through human traffickers. Ethiopia does not have an embassy or consulate in Zambia. Ethiopians who were imprisoned in Tanzania have been released and returned to their country. In the second round of operations carried out after the previous operations of evacuating citizens from the country's prisons, 126 Ethiopians have been escorted to Ethiopia by the Ethiopian Embassy in Tanzania in coordination with the International Organization for Refugees in the country. The rest are being worked on so that they can return home according to the travel program set for them. In the first round on June 1st, 2022, 20 Ethiopians between the ages of 11 and 17 were arrested in Tanzania and returned to their country. It has been reported that Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov will enter Addis Ababa on an official visit next Tuesday. It is known that Sergei Lavrov will stay in Addis Ababa for 2 days. During his stay, the Russian embassy in Addis Ababa will hold talks with senior government officials, representatives of the African Union, and members of the diplomatic community from various countries, as per Russian embassy in Addis Ababa saying to Fana Broadcasting Corporation. Lavrov is expected to discuss ways to strengthen relations and cooperations between Russia and African countries in their discussions with diplomats from African countries. The embassy also announced that they will advise on the preparation of the second Africa-Russia summit. United Arab Emirates has provided $60 million financial assistance to Ethiopia through the World Food Programme. The support is said to be in response to more than 13 million people in Tigray, Amhara, and Afar regions who need urgent food aid. The World Food Programme has expressed that more than 13 million people in the Tigray, Amhara, and Afar regions need humanitarian assistance following the war in the north of Ethiopia and thanked the United Arab Emirates for its support. The financial aid provided by the United Arab Emirates through the World Food Programme will help distribute emergency food aid to 1.6 million people in the regions. In Ethiopia, the war in the north, the economic impact of COVID, as well as the war between Russia and Ukraine, has caused high inflation, and the number of people in need of food aid has doubled in the past 12 months to 20.4 million people. The American Embassy in Ethiopia said that they will work together to return citizens who have been displaced from the war zones and are in shelters to live their normal lives. Ambassador Tracy Ann Jacobson had a discussion with First Deputy Mayor of Gondar, Zawdu Mallede. In her statement after the discussion, Tracy Ann Jacobson praised the efforts of the people of Gondar to support the people displaced from war zones and in shelters. She also stated that they will work together to return displaced people to their old ways of life and said that the previous relationship between Ethiopia and America will continue to be strengthened. The First Deputy Mayor Zawdu Mallede said that the discussion opened the door to strengthen the brotherhood between American cities and the city of Gondar, in addition to supporting evacuees, Amico reported. Ethiopia's ambassador to America, Silashi Bekkele, announced that the government is committed to the African Union-led peace talks to permanently resolve the conflict in the northern part of Ethiopia, in a discussion held with Mike Hammer, America's special envoy for the Horn of Africa. They discussed that the humanitarian aid that's being given to the citizens who are in trouble due to conflict and drought in different areas of Ethiopia and the national consultation. In his discussion, Ambassador Silashi mentioned that he is working with partners to provide unlimited humanitarian aid to citizens who are in crisis in different parts of the country and explained to the special envoy that he will continue to do so. Mr. Mike Hammer, the Special Envoy for the Horn of Africa, confirmed that his country is ready to provide the necessary support to make peace talks effective in the northern part of the country. He also added that the commitment and motivational efforts of the Ethiopian government to provide humanitarian aid to citizens seeking humanitarian aid is admirable. According to the information obtained from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Special Envoy will go to the countries of the Horn of Africa next week. It was announced that the process of registering immigrants who have entered the city in different ways and foreigners whose residence visas have expired has been started. The Registration and Information Agency of Addis Ababa City Administration has announced that it has begun the process of registering refugees and foreigners who have entered the city of Addis Ababa in different ways and those whose residence visas have expired. The agency has announced that the registration of immigrants and foreigners, which is being managed by the Immigration, Citizenship, and Vital Services, has officially started from July 18th in all district offices. It has been said that the registration will enable proper information of the refugees and foreigners living in the city. Many refugees and foreigners have come to registration stations to register. The Director General of the agency, Jonas Alemayo, said that after registration, the registrants are being confirmed and getting confirmation of registration. The registration will also continue as scheduled until August 1st, 2022. The director added that there is no immigrant or foreigner who does not go through this registration process. As we move on to our final news, we go to Ethiopian Airlines. Ethiopian Airlines and de Havilland, an aircraft manufacturing company of Canada, signed a memorandum of understanding to provide spare parts to convert 4-8-400 aircrafts into cargo. The signing ceremony was held between the Chief Executive Officer of Ethiopian Airlines and Mr. Philip Putesho, Vice President of Customer Service of de Havilland Canadian Aircraft Company. According to the CEO of Ethiopian Airlines, cargo services has been playing an important role in the activities of Ethiopian Airlines. The chief executive said that the coronavirus epidemic and the subsequent recovery efforts implemented by the airline have created a great opportunity for cargo services. Ethiopian Airlines' conversion of used -8-400 aircrafts into cargo will further diversify the benefits the aircrafts have been providing, said Philip Putesho, Vice President of Customer Service of Canadian aircraft manufacturer de Havilland. The airline's information indicates that the -8-400 aircraft are industry-leading, cost-effective, and environmentally friendly, making it convenient for them to convert the aircraft to cargo. This was the end of our Nahoo News Weekly. Please remain tuned with the remaining programs from Nahoo Television. It was me, Gifty McConnell. Until next week, have a good time.